So the first time I heard myself on the radio, I was in Canada. It was also the first night that I'd ever tried gin martinis. So I tried gin martinis, and in my idea, I'd had very little experience with alcohol altogether at this point. So it was sort of like, well, is it kind of like a beer? Which it's not, my friends. Don't have 3 gin martinis if you're 5'2" and about 100 pounds, because it's not gonna sit well. And anyways, so this is all going on, and just so you know, leading up to this, I had put out my first ever CD called Tug of War within Canada. And there was a song on there that I was not expecting to go to radio, because we had no radio push, nothing like that happened. So when I say it was a shock to hear myself on the radio, you're talking like no one could be more shocked than I was at that moment. I get in the car, I'm telling my friends, I feel nauseous, like this is not good. And they say, well, it's okay, like just listen to the music, chill out. They put me in the middle seat in the back. And we start driving, and they have Bjork on, which is great, except for she's very dizzy music, okay? She's great if you're like in a place where you're settled, you're not moving, and you're not feeling like you're gonna vomit. And anyway, so I say to them, can you please just put the radio on or something else, because the Bjork thing is just too dizzy right now. And they do, and they put on the radio, and my song starts, and I'm sick. And as I'm being sick, I'm laughing because I'm like, what's going on? And everyone's laughing, and my Prada purse was ruined. And it was a really happy, weird moment. For being as in love with pop music as I am, I actually listen to a lot of folk music as well, and jazz of all things. So when I'm really in like a good mood or kind of like a cooking mood, I'll go for a male or female sort of jazz singers, believe it or not. But when I'm in that like sad place, I kind of go for like the folk artists, like James Blake does a lot of my favorite, actually, women covers. He does like a Joni Mitchell cover that I'm in love with. I think that maybe it's bad advice, but I think it's still really true that the best way to get over somebody is sometimes to be distracted by somebody else. I don't know if that's a healthy theory, but I've definitely found in the past that a little flirtation never hurts. I'm the type of person, when I had my first real big bad breakup, I totally like embraced the sadness for a while. Like, if anything, I kind of romanced it. Like, I drew the long bubble baths, and I had my glass of wine, and I listened to like Cat Power on repeat to the point where it was just like everything was sad and beautiful. And it did take like my friends being like, okay, enough is enough, let's go out tonight. And I think that's sort of what the song is about. It's like when you're ready for that step, because I do fully embrace the fact that you should just let yourself like mull around in it for a bit. But when you are ready to go have fun, I think this can be your song. I have songwriter crushes on men and women, and it's just kind of, I think, an attraction to sort of the way their mind works and the way that they kind of, form lyrics and the melodies that they chose. And it's sort of a hard thing to put your name on why you fall in love with certain people, but mine ranges all over the map. I love Joni Mitchell. Probably hands down one of my favorite lyricists of all time. Leonard Cohen would be in that running. For pop artists, I love Robin. I think she's a genius. Kimbra and Dragonette, LaRue. For male artists, I mean, I really, really am inspired by the band Fun, who kind of made it huge this last year. I like that they break a bit of like the regular song structures for pop music, and yet it still works, and it works even better because it's like unexpected. I actually saw Leonard Cohen not too long ago here in New York play live, and it was something I'd wanted to do my entire life because I grew up loving him, and he did not disappoint. It was like poetry, the whole thing. Actually, believe it or not, with my boyfriend Matthew Coma, that was like one of our first clicks. As we're driving home and we're both making a pop record together, and he's asking me who my favorites are. I'm like, Leonard Cohen, and he's like, are you kidding me? Because that's one of his favorites too, and that was our first kind of spark right there. I think that's just it. I think some people get sort of a bad rap for being like, well, they started here and then they ended there. But that's what music is. It's self-discovery. Like, you kind of sometimes need to take a left turn to then realize you wanted to go right. And I say kudos to them. They've been in it a while, and they kind of found what finally was clicking for them. And it still seems really sincere, and they seem passionate about it, and I'm stoked for them. I think Romeo and Juliet is definitely up there. I think it's just like one of those movies you can watch over and over and catch something that you missed the first time, which I usually hate rewatching movies, but that one I love. And the music's, like, the soundtrack, it was like one of the rare, actually, movie soundtracks that I listened to on repeat. But I'm also, like, just Little known fact, like a total musical theater buff. Like I went to like a college that was like a musical theater college and trained with the idea that I wanted to be on Broadway one day. And then I got a guitar and was like, never mind, I want to write songs. But that being said, I think my favorite musical of all time is probably Jesus Christ Superstar. And the movie's insane. And when you hear him hit those high notes, it's like, how can a human being make that register sound so pure? So yeah, that's probably my favorite.